Guys, this is where it gets so good, and this is why George Washington is one of my favorite presidents of all time. Listen to how smart he is. The heading is 8 long years. Whew, so we know that this is not a fast war. It was an 8 long year war. An aide to General Washington managed to sneak out of Brooklyn and back to New York City. So you remember these arrows going back? One aide went back to New York City. He sent out an urgent message. The Americans need boats in Brooklyn now. He said, we've got to get boats over there now. I bet you can make a prediction what they're going to do. Within hours, dozens of boats, big and small, were on the shores of Brooklyn. Under the cover of darkness and fog, thousands of American soldiers, including Joseph, were quietly ferried safely back to New York City. So George Washington's plan was like, get all these small boats, not big, huge ships, that people could see, but small boats, big boats, medium-sized boats, whatever, come and get all our soldiers and sneak them out. It wasn't about winning. It was about surviving. So he gets everybody out of Brooklyn and back over into New York City so that when the British come to attack, because they're there, they're on their way, they're almost on top of the fort, remember? There's not going to be anybody there. Isn't that amazing? That's just killer. That's a killer plan. So ferried, got on a boat, and went back over to New York. After dawn, the British launched their attack on the 6 Brooklyn forts. They were astonished to discover that their forts were empty. Somehow, the entire American army had slipped away and was safe in New York City. The Americans had lost the Battle of Brooklyn, but the army had survived. They would keep fighting. Isn't that just amazing? So his plan worked to sneak all the soldiers off. So yes, they lost the battle, but there's an old saying, sometimes you have to lose the battle to win the war. And that's exactly what we know happened because the United States is here today. We didn't lose to them. Now, we're not finished with this section, so we've got one more page to go, and that's going to explain that 8 long years, okay? So think about the text structure here. We had a problem. They're on their way, and thanks to George Washington, they got out safely. That was the big deal.